Alright, so I'm back from the hardware overview, and now I'm going to be talking about, a couple reasons why you'd want to get, such a computer. Now, why you'd want to get a Mac Pro is if you're a graphic designer, a video editor, you create programs for the iPhone, the Mac, whatever. If you're doing something processor intensive, and if you're going to be using the computer to its full, power, you're having an F-18, airplane in your room, or in your studio, or wherever you're working with it. So the reason why I bought it is because I love to make videos, not just for YouTube. I make videos for other people. I do a lot of photo editing. As you can see on some of my on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/FLCProductions, there I have some Photoshop tutorials. I love doing stuff in Photoshop. Now I love graphic designing. I love using Illustrator, Photoshop, I'm starting to learn some programming. I'm learning C# and Objective-C. So I'm using this computer to its full power. Now, some surprising things are that Mac OS X, although obviously this computer works fully with Mac OS X, a lot of the programs are not created for the full power of the computer, so it cannot take advantage of all the cores. So hypothetically speaking, there is 16 cores with hyper-threading in the Mac Pro. And if you had the quad-core I can't say that word. There would be 8 cores. Now Mac OS X does read it as if there was 16 cores. So, for example, when you load an image or something like that, if you have a program that can use all your cores, it uses your computer like you have 16 cores. So, or 16 individual cores rather than 8. Now, this is really good because it speeds up your computer, and also with the new 2009 processors, you have the Nehalem abilities. So pretty much what the Nehalem does is, so when your computer is reading your memory, which happens to be new DDR3 rather than DDR2, which is a lot faster. That's also the graphics card. I'm not going into those tech specs at the moment, but it's DDR3, so it's going to be a lot faster memory. And to speed it up even more, they totally take out the memory controller. Well, they don't take it out, it's just built in with the main controller and the processors. So it skips a whole step, making it a lot faster. Now, it's kind of confusing on how everything works, and I'm not too sure on how Intel did it. Now, there is the new Intel i7 processor, and you cannot get that in a Mac Pro. Although you can buy some computers, which I definitely disagree with buying, Hackintosh computers, or like Pi-Star, or I forget how to say the company's name. But I definitely wouldn't go that route. I would go with the Mac Pro. It's extremely expensive, and I saved up for several years buying it. I would definitely make this, think about it. Okay, look at the iMac. I like to compare this computer with the iMac because it's the closest, related computer. Although it is oriented to the average consumer, you can do a lot of professional work on the iMac. Now, the reason I have the Mac Pro is because next year I'm going to high school. There I'm going to be in a media class for 3 hours every day. We're going to, or 3 periods, each period is about 45 minutes. So, it's over 2 hours every day I'm going to be, working on video editing, video, production. It's a whole class about media, graphic design, web design. I'm also going to be taking a programming class. So I'm going to be learning Xcode. They use Macs for that. And I'll be in the Mac developing class. And just to note, for some people who are going to say, oh, you're super rich or whatever, it is a public school. Now, it is pretty hard to get into, and I got into it. I showed them my portfolio and everything. I'm not going into a live bio, but you're going to definitely want to be doing more professional work if you're going to be using the Mac Pro. The Mac Pro is oriented towards the professional user, key Pro in the name of the computer. Although you can do the average thing like check email, whatever. And also note, if you're a big gamer but you do not have a PC, this is you can definitely game like amazingly on this computer. Now, most games are not made for the Mac, although you can run Windows on this computer. There's several ways to do that, and I'm really not going to go into that at the moment. So it's great for playing games. You can get a high frame rate if you have a really nice graphics card. The graphics card that comes standard in the computer is really, really good, but a lot of people, if you're not going to be gaming, and I haven't upgraded my graphics card, if you're not going to be gaming and you're going to be doing more like graphic design, get an ATI graphics card. Although the Intel chips are tested with the NVIDIA, so they work better with the NVIDIA graphics cards for graphic design and video editing, the ATI graphics card is the way to go. Now going back to the tech specs, with the quad core, you can get a 2.66 gigahertz and a 2.93 gigahertz core. With the 8-core Mac Pro, you have 3 options. You have the 2.26 and the 2.66 and the 2.93. Now, I would go, if you're going to be getting a computer and you're a Mac, and I would definitely not buy the Mac Pro if it's your first computer. But if you're going to be going with the professional, and I would go with the 8-core, maybe go for the 2.26, and maybe if you're feeling about it, put in some extra cash and go for the 2.66. That's what I would say. 2.26, a processor alone is not fast at all, or it's not fast compared to the average day Mac. But since this is an 8-core 2.26, it's a lot faster than the average 2.4 gigahertz that comes in like the MacBook and MacBook Pro, iMac, Mac Mini. I'm not talking about those computers, I'm obviously talking about the Mac Pro. So there are my thoughts on the 2009 Apple Mac Pro. Definitely think about it, and it feels really good after about 1.5 years of saving up, actually over 1.5 years of saving up for this computer. It feels really, really good to finally have it. So definitely, think about purchasing it. Hopefully this review has, helped you, influenced you, whether you want to buy it or not buy it. Hopefully you learned some new things about the Mac Pro and enjoyed this video. If you want to see some of my exclusive, as a lot of people say on the internet, exclusive content, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/FLCProductions. Well, you can also go, subscribe to my channel for all my videos if you want to see them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.